Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel. Hello.
Hello, welcome back.
H is back. We're back. We were upset last week, so we did not.
So mad.
But GH was back. So let's get started with the weirdest thing to ever say to your boyfriend. Okay. Carly was with Brennan and said this. Her priorities were her kids, grandkids, Jason, and you. What?
It's really important to let your boyfriend know he's last. Keep it in check, girl.
Yeah, I just have to ask, like, what do you think of the Carly character right now? I mean, like, we know soaps are long and there's always going to be different stories, and this is definitely a season for Carly, but what do you think?
I think it's like when you're younger and you think it's love and you're trying to make it something that it's not. She's come a long way. She definitely like dug into who this Carly Spencer person is and what a life is without Jason. But right now, I just think she's loving the attention and being with somebody who's on the right side of the law. But
Hmm.
there's no longevity there and there's no trust prioritizing him. Like he's just there because he's pretty and fun right now.
She did mention the attention thing to Jason a while ago, and we know, and that's the thing. There's a part of me that's like, what is going on? Like, I feel like Carly is being made to be a fool right now.
Mhm.
Like this is not the Carly I know, but I do see that it's being amped up, right? Like, it feels very caricature, but then there were some serious moments. I couldn't believe the conversation between Jocelyn and Carly because I was like, thank you. Thank you. I felt like
Yes.
she had a talk with Jocelyn at Bobby's, and I felt like Joss was the voice of the audience, right? Like, I am a fan of Carly, but like it's a bit weird on this Brit thing.
It's so weird. It feels almost like remember back in the day the choose your adventure book? It's like we're keep moving through time in the choices that Carly's making and how she decides to view people in this time and space. Like hearing her explain her views on Brit was so fascinating because we're all just waiting, trying desperately to understand where this woman's head's at.
Okay, I don't think she gave a complete answer, but
No.
she gave she gave a partial answer, which I was like, okay. But I loved that Joss pushed and just
Mhm.
said, dude, you're talking weird. Okay? Like you're a grown woman.
Yes.
Like when she's like, me and Jason and this bond, like we know the bond, we do, but look at it from Jocelyn's perspective. Isn't it getting odd? Your mom's grown and she's basically and she has a boyfriend and she's being so weird, and it just looks like jealousy. It doesn't always look like a friendship.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so I like that she pushed that button, and then Carly got weirded out by the jealous thing. The one thing that I did learn from that conversation is the train of thought Carly has where she blames Britt for Jason's death. I was like, okay. Okay, that's super irrational. And that helps me understand a little bit where she's at. Because the one thing I felt that I could not get past, and even though I know that Joss was only um holding up her cover, the fact that she intervened with Carly and Britt and said to talk about the gratitude
Yes.
for what she did. That's the thing. So you said earlier how she was like coming into her own, that identity of like Carly Spencer. And I agree with you. And in that vein, I would assume that an evolved Carly wouldn't care that Britt was alive because essentially the you can't take away the action, right? And to me, I do feel that what Britt did is synonymous with what Elizabeth did. Elizabeth said yes, and because of that decision, Jocelyn survived and had a transplant. And that was a
Mhm.
very difficult thing. And when we found out that Jake was alive, that gesture didn't kind of like disappear. It's something
Mhm.
that Carly has continued to be grateful for. And now it kind of makes sense why Lucas said what he said about Elizabeth. Like you'd be right up there with her kids and grandkids. And I realize that because Elizabeth is directly responsible for her child being alive.
Yes.
So that I kind of understand. So for me, yes, Brit faked her death. Maybe she had an antidote. I don't know, but either way, she was pricked with the same poisonous thing, and her life was at risk, just like everybody else who died by that like
Mhm.
poison thing. So I find that's what I have a hard time wrapping my head around. Like regardless of how you feel or your jealousy or your possessiveness of Jason, the fact that she wasn't showing gratitude to Grit.
That's a good one. I like it. She does have grit.
Gratitude to Brit? Yeah, I just don't like that. I just don't find it matches where she's at. And this is where I'm confused because look, I think that Jason and Brit have chemistry, right? We
Yes.
see them in a room together and you're like, we know how this is gonna go down, push, pull, tension, and then boom, we're together. But I'm starting to feel like I don't know at
Right?
all anymore. I don't know at all because what I think is different in this situation is that Brit is not your typical love interest. And I don't feel like they're telling a typical love story because and I changed my mind when Brit and Jason had a confrontation at the hospital
Yes.
because what I was seeing was like again, tension, don't like you, love hate, love conquers all. But then at the hospital, it was different. She wasn't like that. She was actually pretty direct and looked at him and was like, dude, I need to be first with you, and walked away. Like, they're barely friends. She barely
Yes.
recognizes him as a friend, but then turns around and goes, you know what? If you're going to be in my life, I don't like the way you make me feel. We're clearly not just friends. We want each other. Hello. So if you're going to even entertain discussing, talking, engaging with me, I'd better
Mhm.
be number 1. And I was like, well, yeah, that's very different. I don't know how a love story like that goes when you have a woman who's just not really playing.
Right?
So I don't know how this is going to go. And it's actually confusing me. One thing that is happening with Jason and Britt is like, he's Carlying her. Notice when they were in the room and she was talking about Rocco.
Yes.
Okay, so in that moment, I was thinking, okay, is Jason onto her? But then she sold him on the whole, like, no, I was worried about James because of like my direct experience with Rocco. And he bought it. I was like, really, Jason? Okay, fine.
I know.
He buys it. But then like she goes into like self-deprecating mode. We saw a little bit about how she handled Lulu. Like she doesn't care, right? It's not like it's an unearned title with certain people. But then Jason was all like, great. You sell yourself short. I believe in you. He's basically doing that whole thing.
Yes.
I believe in you and no one else does. Because that's what Carly was. She had no connections. No one really liked her. He
Yes.
saw something in her that no one really saw. And I feel like I don't get it. Like we're doing this? And then it happened explicitly at the hospital where there was a Carly comparison.
Yes.
And she made a comment, and I even answered because I think we all as viewers knew the answer, which was, if this was Carly, she already would have told him.
Yes, 100%.
Okay? So for me, I'm thinking, what is going on? Like, I thought this was straightforward, right? Britt is back.
Mhm.
She is back for Jason. Carly and Jason are just friends. But now you're opening up the table to discuss that. And then Brennan puts Jason on the spot about Britt and
Ugh,
Carly. So I
so
am
frustrating.
Right? So for me, I'm like, I don't know. And then there was somebody in the comments who has a fantasy couple. And I read this, I think like a week ago. But
Okay.
now when I'm watching, it's like in my head. But someone said their fantasy dream couple was Spinelli and Britt.
Stop.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, again, it's a fantasy dream thingy. But
Yes.
then I don't know why. Like that little nugget was just in my head as I watched Spinelli and Brit scenes this week.
Okay.
Because, like, I mean, there's friction there. He's challenging her. They were engaging. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But do you get what I'm saying? And what is your perspective when you see this? Because why are you doing that? Like, why? Because at first, what I thought before seeing this week, I just felt that the Jason Carly relationship was at a crossroads, meaning that if Jason moves on with Britt will not entertain this whole not coming first thing. She made it really clear. And it would mean that Jason and Carly would have to is that what we're gonna see? Renegotiate the dynamic that they have established for years. And so even Carly said, "Things are different between Jason and me. He's keeping things from me." And
Yes.
so at that moment, I was like, "Okay, I guess that's what's going down." Like these people are having like their relationship is at a crossroad. Like he came back and they never even acknowledged. Like he came back because he literally sacrificed 2 years of his life for Carly. And then they had these intense moments. And then it was like, let's never have them in a scene together. Okay. And then he's off with Anna. So it's sort of like, all right, they don't even showcase their friendship as much, but now it's all back. And the way that it's being shown, I'm not sure where they're going. Because I thought it was pretty straightforward before. And now I'm like, I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm not sure where this is going. I just absolutely know that Brennan needs to disappear soon. And
Ugh,
Britt and Jason, yes, Carly and Jason have this history, but Britt treats him in a way that no other woman in his
no.
life has ever treated him. She doesn't like gawk over him, like, oh, it's Jason and Jason's amazing. She like challenges him and she stands her ground. And I think it's confusing for him, but that he respects it. And he always had like he loved her at some point in time. Like they were going to be together. And I feel like at some point you do have to sort out your feelings for Carly before you can move on. But I feel like slowly he's doing that. Like he's making choices that he would never make.
Okay, so then it really is about that then, the Jason Carly relationship being at a crossroads and kind of reshaping that because if you have Jason's character also evolving, right? He's also questioning choices he made. He's reconnecting with the Quartermains. And yeah, like Sam had to tolerate this and it wasn't fun for her and they didn't exactly survive it. It's really frustrating. And if you're going to have like be a grown up and have a grown up relationship, I think it's fair for Brit to be like, yeah, like if you want to have anything with me, build a life with me. No, I'm not going to take a back seat to the Carly Jason show. That's weird. And I don't know why anyone else has ever done that. like, I,
No, but truly. So I feel like this is Jason's Carly Spencer moment, for lack of a better way of explaining it. Like it's him finding himself and making his choices for him outside of the Carly Sunny life.
but we're outside of the Carly Sunny life, absolutely, right? They're moving away from that whole mob thing. I mean, Sunny has successfully managed to relationship with both of them. He absolutely
Yes.
knew those 2 came first. I don't know how he did it, but he was never really jealous,
No?
except for when they got married. He was like, "I didn't like that
What?
as much when you married and kissed him." That part I didn't like so much. Yeah, that did strike a chord with him, but then he just slept with Nina, so he coped.
Exactly.
He coped with that.
Exactly.
But what does this mean? Like you said, it pulls Jason away from Sunny and Carly and into his own life, but let's be fair, like, Sunny's been having his own life
I
always,
know.
and so
Always.
but where does that leave Carly and Jason, right? Because, again, we could see Jason kind of building this life with Britt, right? A different life and a different relationship that's he's ever been able to have, okay?
Hmm.
That's very possible. But I'm gonna ask, where does that leave Carly, to be honest, right? Because if they renegotiate their relationship, she's already feeling, I guess, like she's losing him a little bit, like he's keeping things from her. And Brennan is obviously not a solid guy. Like
Hmm.
when Joss went to go see Carly and was
Mm.
waiting in the kitchen, oh man, how did you feel about that?
Okay, so I'm going to give an early start to Joss for acting within the acting because she
I
had to
was
pretend
appalled.
like
Sorry, you give her those accolades, and then I'll tell you how appalled I am.
in a funny, humorous way because she had to pretend she was away and helping some lovely elderly woman. And then she had to pretend that she was blindsided by the man that she loved. But I was killing myself when she's like, I just wanted to invite Brennan for dinner and start over and be a family
I
time.
also you just reminded me that she had to pretend that she was surprised to see Brit at Bobby's.
Yes, she had to act upon acting. You are alive, my gosh.
I did love that. No, but, like, because 'cause I'm watching this, right? And she
Yes.
has come from just seeing Brennan. So she's engaging with Brit. It was kind of fun to see, right? And this is, I guess, where I was feeling a type of way. Is like,
Okay.
wow, Joss is stepping into her own. And there was a point where Carly was, like, running the show and in the know, and now we're seeing a version of Carly who's absolutely what is that word?
I love it.
As I talk to you guys about GH, I'm also just thinking about axolotls. That's my struggle. I'm always thinking axolotls. I barely get through this podcast apparently.
My Brandon's always like, "Move your axolotl out of this room."
Wow, I didn't even realize how much this word was in use. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I just feel like with Carly, she's just sort of stepping back. Like that's what I'm saying. Again, it could just be this story, but I feel like okay, she's the fool, right? In this situation.
Huh?
Joss has kind of the meteor stuff. Carly did reappear in that kitchen though. She did reappear for a moment in that kitchen, the Carly that we know. But I am, kind of question marking what we've got going on for Carly and where her character will end up. Joss, she's really got a lot going on right now, and I kind of enjoyed her going toe to toe with Britt. She didn't care to bend on anything, which was interesting to
Mhm.
see. And I think it was also fascinating for Britt to watch like Joss be WSB and see like,
Yes.
you know, but then Brennan shows up. So that's the thing. I was like, that's true. Like Joss can kind of push back because she's got a team. It's not just her. She does have Brennan as the buffer. And so he kind of comes in and takes over. You notice Willow observing all of this in the background. So
Yes.
when Joss goes to Carly, I'm watching this and I'm like, it's really interesting that Brennan would approve this story that really favors Joss and all
Right?
of it. I was
Yes.
like, I loved how her story, like you pointed out, I was just trying to invite him for dinner. I was like, I was
Literally.
like, this girl, like she created a whole story that really made herself look good. And the whole time I'm like, is this girl going rogue or did Brennan approve this story? And I really felt like Brennan approved the story because it made logical sense. He's promoting Vaughn. Carly shows up at the
Yes.
WSB office all the time. She's
All
going
the
to
time.
notice Colette is Vaughn. So that is why I thought that that wasn't a Joss move, that it was 100% Vaughn approving the story to cover that aspect. But and I also thought the reason this was a Brennan approved mood was to test the waters with
Mood or
Carly.
move?
Move and
Okay,
mood.
just
I
checking,
don't
just check.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the last thing I said. Once
I
I
love it. Let's
say it,
roll.
once I say it, it's gone. So I just thought if Jocelyn tests this lie, right? Vaughn was WSB, aka Brennan knew all along. He lied to you. How will you react? And I thought Brennan was testing the waters to see how Carly would have reacted to a lie related to her daughter. And Carly immediately freaked out and said, that affects my kid. Like, no, like, not when a
Yes.
lie, whatever. And so that's why I thought he did that. Because for me, I absolutely adored this preview of Carly freaking finally coming to life
Yes.
and getting upset. And it's fun as an audience because you're like, well, what is going to happen when she learns the whole truth? Because if she
Right?
feels this way about Brennan, I think it'll be a really huge fracture between her and Jason, though. Like, I can't see her,
Yes.
you know, being okay with this. She's been okay when he's kept secrets for Michael. It's very different.
True.
But this one, I I I don't know. Like I guess it's weird to imagine a world or a scenario in Port Charles where there is a Carly Jason rift.
I know it's hard to make sense of it all and the direction of it, but I feel that
Mhm.
way about a lot of things right now. I feel like they're doing that thing where they're rejigging all the storylines and adding new people, and we don't know where things are at, and who's good and who's bad, and when stories are going to explode. Like we're in that middle phase.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm just curious to see how it all unfolds because on the other side of this, before Brennan even gets there, he's like going toe to toe with Jason. And I
Ugh,
absolutely loved it. He's like, are you bugging her phone? He's like, of course I am.
fudge, man.
And I loved when he called him out. He was like, if you want to see me, be a man and contact me directly.
Yes,
And even funnier is he's like, be a man. And Brendan's like, I am a man. And then his girlfriend
exactly.
calls and he yells at him and he freaks out. Like, did you see his face?
Amazing. Deer caught in the headlights.
Oh my gosh. So it's like, yeah, like this is really intense. It's more than I thought it was, right? I thought it was gonna be like Carly and Brennan, that whole thing blows up, and then there's Jason to pick up all the pieces. But that's the thing, like she's not gonna want that.
Exactly.
And this is like huge, huge. So yeah, I guess that is a really big story, you know? What of it between Carly and Jason, I guess. So going back to Brit, it takes us back to Nathan and some really real stuff. Like the whole concept of Brennan threatening jail is that, yeah, she was clearly involved in some stuff.
Yes.
This deal saves Brit from even being questioned. But Spinelli had every right to kind of ask questions. And like what I don't understand is why did Brit kick Spinelli out of that room when she herself could not talk to Nathan?
This whole situation is so confusing because I
Oh my
waver
gosh.
between like, I legit cannot wrap my head around the fact that he has a different brain in his head. For me, it's more he's Nathan and he's
No.
been like Nathan has Cesar's brain. Like I can't wrap my head around that. It's not the
Is
best choice of expressions,
But is
but
that it? Because I was confused in those scenes because Britt seems scared, right? Obviously, she knows something. He appeared sinister, but then all of a sudden this week, these two are in a room together. They're having a casual conversation, but the way that they were having it was so neutral that it could really go either way. And she didn't seem like afraid of him. It was odd. I didn't know what to make of it. Like, so you don't think it's real Nathan?
that's exactly it. Like just going from last week to this week and when he first came on the scene, like back from the dead. I
Yeah.
think maybe it's like a being hypnotized. Like I think it's more her science brain, like her logical brain, like, okay, well, where have you been preserved? Where were you healing? Were you hypnotized? Because like for me, I feel like he's conditioned to do something bad, but then it's actually me.
Okay, so it is actually Nathan. She clearly wasn't surprised to learn that he was alive, but then her like going back and forth with Spinelli. I mean, what do you expect the guy to think? Okay, like you both are Cesar's children and you come back from the dead.
Yes.
You know, Nathan, again, interesting, right? And I believe it too. Nathan doesn't seem to know what's happened to him, but she obviously knows more. And even Jason called her out on that. Like, I don't
Hmm.
know what she expected Jason to do because Spinelli's concerns were legitimate.
Exactly.
And this is where Spinelli needs to remember he's Spinelli and look it up, figure it out.
Honestly, truly, get some camera, do something, man.
Open your computer. Remember, he has that access to like, he could hack basically everything.
Everything.
But his conversation with Nathan, he went back to see him.
Mhm.
I'm guessing Nathan gathered that Spinelli is with Maxie
I'm hoping.
because that was an interesting conversation when Spinelli is like, "You still love her?" And I'm like, "Dude, he just woke up and found out
I know.
his son, hey, was he born? He's 7. Yeah, he was a little bit born." You know what I mean? Like, if that was a shock, why would he have not loved Maxie because he took a sleep?
Right? He just took a little snoozeroos.
Right? So he's just like, "Still my wife." And I saw Spinelli's eyes. I'm like, "Spinelli, do you understand that they're still married?" Because his
Right?
eyes, he had a reaction. I mean, look, when it came to James, Spinelli handled that really well, you know, made sure things didn't escalate. And that felt to me like Nathan because he was so, you know, willing to work with Spinelli and he was seeing things from James's perspective and he understands that being a good dad is really just like following Spinelli's lead until something
Yeah.
can be built. So for me, I'm like, well, that's Nathan. But this whole, you know, like I'm married to Maxie, you love Maxie, I love Maxie. Like, what is going on? Like, this is rough. Also, Spinelli, Lulu woke up and loved Dante, also. Just
Yeah.
saying, you had a preview, you knew what was coming.
Mm.
But this is intense, like, I'm just saying for Nathan, he woke up and his wife is in a coma and in another relationship and he has a 7-year-old. Like, how is his heart not broken?
Wild.
That,
Mhm.
like, I need to see more of Nathan crumble, I think, because 'cause I'm like, "This doesn't make sense. How are you standing?"
Right? Like, he hasn't really fully, I think, digest what's happening, like, at all. Like, he's leaving the hospital. Where's he going? He has no
No
house.
idea.
He has no
No,
car.
no. I'm gonna say Nina. It better be Nina. I need some
Yes.
Nina Nathan. Like, that was always really awesome.
Oh, okay, yes, me too.
So speaking of Nina, talk about ungrateful. Remember how Willow accused Nina of using her?
Yes.
Obviously not. Nina had a full-blown alibi. She didn't need Willow.
I know.
Where did they all of a sudden get footage of Nina's
Oh,
apartment?
apparently they can find footage now.
So That's interesting. Why didn't you do police work first? I don't know.
Why did they wait all this time?
Well, I guess they were double remember when, like, Dante went up and blew up Curtis's life by being like, "Hey, weren't you hanging out with Jordan?"
That
And
was
then left,
amazing.
and then left. So, I guess this was it, right? They were just double checking Nina's comings and goings or whatnot, but that was kind of intense, okay? Because the police we already know about Edward's gun, and they had a warrant, and did you notice when Turner was at the
Mhm.
gym with Sunny, okay?
Yeah.
Even I knew that was the wrong address, and it was bugging me the whole episode. Like, Johnny was sitting there, like, doing something else, and I'm like, "But it's not 65. They just read the will. That's weird." And I kept literally, this is me. "Is there, like, another building? Like, how big is this
It's
place?" And
so
I'm
funny.
like, "So it's 66 whatever road drive thing," and I'm like, "Is there, like, another back entrance where you police go?" Like, I was so lost in my head. I was having a hard time with that detail, okay? What do you think Turner was doing? Was she giving Sunny the heads up?
Okay, so I would because she had a flashback about it, I rewatched that scene. There
Okay.
was Anna's, like, anger. So, the way that Turner said hi to Sunny at that gym, I
Yeah.
was like, "Should I look away?" Like, I felt like I was really invading a super private moment. Like, she obviously digs him, and I was like, "Okay, is she looking into his eyes and made a mistake, or is she legit covered for him because she doesn't like Drew? She heard everything that
Mhm.
he said in that house." So, I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit of both, like, her finding that, like, gray area where she's, like, falling for the mob guy.
Sunny put in the work, right?
Mhm.
That's not her deciding that. That was Sunny putting in the
Fair.
work, and she feels a type of way about
Yes.
going after him now, or especially Michael, like you said, because of what she heard, and also the pizza night with him and Donna. Okay?
Absolutely.
And for somebody who wants to be on the up and up, she shows up at his gym. His gym.
Is gy all of all the gyms.
So, of all the gyms you walk into mine, I feel like there was more in between. But anyways, here I wrote, she goes to his gym and gives the address for the warrant in front of him. And then this is me. 65? I thought it was 66. This is me
You're
struggling.
so
And I
funny.
even wrote it down. I'm like, "I'm struggling here." So, yeah,
Right.
she's like, "I can't tell you anything, Sonny, but I'm gonna shout really loud and stare at you while I'm on my work phone call about
Amazing.
warrants." And I'm like, "Okay, Turner, like, you're acting real thirsty." But also
Mhm.
at the gym, did you love the side story going on there?
Oh my gosh, the cutest little side story. I honestly thought it was gonna go on longer, but it was absolutely adorable.
I was happy it wasn't going on longer because I was getting really annoyed. I'm like,
Oh, for
"Just
real, though.
say you love each other." But I did enjoy, like, Emma's discussion with Anna where she's, like, trying to
Yeah.
find the problem. 'Cause me too, I'm
Yeah,
like, "Girl, what's your problem?" And then she's like, "Oh,
right?
so he didn't like the kiss. He thought you were ew? No?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "I think you should just talk to him." And then I loved it. I did it was cute, but it was funny having, like, this soft backstory when, like, an actual warrant is about to be put out to, like, I don't know, search, and they're getting close to, like, an arrest and all that stuff, and then you have Gio and Emma, and then also, like, Kai. Oh, no. Like, my guard slipped in front of Gio, I had to run away. And I'm like, "No one's looking at you, dude. You don't have a criminal record, like, the bat was stupid, your fingerprints and everything was stupid, but he wasn't murdered by bat." Just I wanna put that out there. Like, yes, the fingerprints were on bat, but he was shot twice in the back. And there was no, like, contusion, right? Like, there was no, like, he was hit with the bat. So, let's let it go, Kai. Because
Oh,
right now
1000%.
yeah, because right now he's like, "Man, I'm protecting me and Trina." And that's the thing, they stole the evidence, and then you have Curtis and Portia. This was so funny. Curtis is like, "I have a hunch." I'm like, "The hunch is right, but I still don't respect you." Like,
Right,
still I
absolutely.
still like, even though I know he's right, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're so wrong, and this is a terrible idea." When he was like, "He doesn't have any leverage anymore, and I
Yes.
wanna ask him." Like, I feel so bad for his dad sometimes
I
because, like,
know, he has to
his dad
tolerate a lot of baloney.
because his dad's like, "Okay, this is I probably shouldn't have walked out on this one because he needs a lot of guidance.
Oh my gosh.
40 years is too long."
Too long.
And this is painful to watch because I remember because last week he had to tell Curtis, like, "I don't know that he'll tell you." or be straightforward? So then he's like, screw you, dad. And then he went to Portia. He's like, hey, what do you think about asking Drew? Like, what do you think about like testing him? And they did it. And do you think it was a good move for Curtis?
Before we go there, it very much reminded me if we have any like fans of the show Friends, he knew, I knew, you knew, he knew. Like that was
Yes.
all I heard in my head the whole entire time.
Well, then
Like
it should have been more fun for you then, because that's a fun thing to have in your head from Friends.
that's what I had to keep in my head to make it enjoyable because honestly, I couldn't wait to hear what you had to say about Curtis about all this. Like, I do think
Oh
it's
man.
important for them to know that he doesn't have the evidence and Drew is in a position that he can't really do anything. And there's nobody, even though he tried really hard, that's going to help him on this. So it's like a moot point,
Truly, though. And so, again, I don't think it's super, super consequential, right? It doesn't matter that Drew thinks you shot him. It
right?
doesn't matter, right? And at this point, Drew doesn't have a lot of credibility. So, look, Curtis feels good. Portia feels good because, look, he would have threatened them and he didn't and he can't.
He can't.
So they have the answer they need. So fine. Trina did a good thing. Trina's not going to get in trouble. She won't get linked to the crime scene. And basically, at this point in time, Portia and Curtis are home free. I do feel bad for Portia because I feel like every time there's a turning point, there's always like a new problem.
Yeah.
But I think like I don't know what Drew was thinking when he pulled Jordan in. Like I think it's so delulu. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter how much Jordan cares about Curtis. She's not
Hmm.
blackmailable. Like you're not Cyrus. Okay?
Exactly.
You're like far from being a Cyrus. And the point is, Curtis is the point of interest anyway. And you highlighted that Jordan is Anna's best friend.
Hmm.
Don't you think she'll tell her best friend that Drew wants to pin it on Michael even though he suspects someone else? You know what I mean? Like if push comes to shove, like I'm sure she'll have a casual conversation with Anna if need be. But the point is, he has no credibility. He has ridiculous threats. And the fact that he thought it would work on Jordan, like that's the thing we've noticed since the shooting is that while Drew feels more and more powerful, we are
Hmm.
watching how the power isn't really there. Like it wasn't there when Kai went to go check on him. It's not in the room when Curtis and Portia are there. It wasn't in the room when Jordan was there.
Hmm.
It's really interesting. And even when Willow was in the room with him.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So he's angry. He's still just as demanding. And it is sickening to watch in terms of Jordan's perspective. Like you almost died and you hadn't changed. So it's kind of interesting to watch him not change, but everyone around him seems to have, right? Like whatever power he had, that's kind of like slowly evaporating, which is probably a good thing. But
Yes.
again, the fact that he even thought he had leverage with someone like Jordan is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous because now she knows the whole thing and she went to go tell Curtis. And again, all of this relies on evidence. Not that Anna cares because she's just going around being like, I don't think that's a good alibi. Just saying.
Gut instinct.
You know what I mean? I'm like, Anna, like, I get it. I get this private conversation that you're having with like your detectives, but how would a third party feel? Hey, Michael, you have an alibi with a sex worker. And then Dante's like, yeah, it was so weird that I went to her room and he was there. It's like, okay, third parties are like, doesn't that support whatever is going on? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
your perspective does not make sense to a third party. And that's why Michael is walking around feeling confident because facts are facts. I have an alibi. You spotted me there. I was spotted with her on the day of my aunt's memorial. Do you know how significant that is?
Yes.
Right? He's so close with his grandmother. Why would anyone believe that he was that conniving to do that? Like, you can say that if you want to. You can say, I think that. But I think he's done a good job of covering for right now.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Okay, so the reading of the will. Speaking of like all of this, the evidence, it's all crucial about the warrant at the Quartermains and the whole address thing. So I will ask you, how do you feel about the house, surprise, surprise, going to Ronnie?
Okay, at first I was super annoyed.
Hmm.
I do like the way that she's connecting with Michael and the fact that she took the time to annoy the crap out of Anna and read the will. Like that was the highlight for me that not the will, sorry, the warrant. Yeah,
Yeah,
she sat there, she read it, she found the mistake with the address. And I love Anna just like staring, taking in the news of the fact that Monica had a sister
so
and the fact
funny.
that she wants to be thorough. Like I felt like she was trying to show the family that she was on their side. So I
Yeah,
don't necessarily think she's evil. I do think they want to keep that like antagonistic relationship. I'm just mad about Tracy getting pickles, but Ronnie, I can kind of see how she fits into the situation.
Do
I'm
you?
not happy. I'm rolling with it.
How does she fit in?
I feel like she's been wanting a family, right? So she kind of, I'm hoping anyways, that she is indeed truly an extension of Monica and going to be protective of this family. And because she's never really had anything like this and she wanted this relationship with Monica so badly that she's going to honor her wishes in terms of like taking care of the people around her. So when it comes to like the whole Drew situation or anything that happens, she's already on their side. And she's never really had anything of this grandeur before. So she's going to protect it with everything she has. Whereas everybody else, as so many people have pointed out, have so much money, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that was a very offensive statement, okay? Olivia, it's like, whose side are you on? Whose family are you in? Like, the look that Ned and Brooklyn gave her when she was like, "Well, maybe Monica thought that Michael was rich enough." Everybody was like, "Ew."
Is there
I
such a
kn
thing, people?
I know that Olivia was mad because she was triggered by the, like, waitress comment.
Yes, she was.
And she just said that, but I was like, it is weird. Like, I do understand
It's
Tracy's
weird.
perspective when she puts it in the sense of, but why would she do that to Michael, right? Why would she switch it
Yeah.
from Michael to her sister? And like when you're talking, yeah, of course, all of that makes sense, right? You know, they were going back and forth for a year exchanging correspondence. And yeah, like maybe she knew a bit of her life and maybe Monica wanted to give her a family and connect her to hers. That's all possible, right? It's just,
Mhm.
was it necessary? So I feel
Yes,
2
totally
ways about
agree.
it, right? Like by the end of the week, you're like, "Oh, Ronnie, it's interesting how they take us on this roller coaster ride." We're like, "Hey,
Yes.
interloper," like we're all speaking
Right?
quarter maids. "What are you doing here?" Like we know she's a nice woman, but we're all kind of like, "Hey, we've all been through this. Where's this outsider coming from?" And I think for me watching this, it was over the years, we were so happy every time the Quartermains, like their house got full. It was kind of like going back to that heyday where there was just a lot happening with the Quartermains. And I feel like there were years where there wasn't much happening there. And so there was definitely a rebuilding of the Quartermains. And then really huge things like having Jason move back in. And like a really unexpected surprise has been the Jason Tracy dynamic and bond, right?
Yes.
Those 2 as heads of family. Having those 2 be heads of family, like, I mean, we can talk about how Michael is, like, the golden grandchild or whatnot, but the point is these 2 were kind of taking care of the family, and I just felt like there's so much story, there's so much happening. For me, I thought the story was that. Like, you know, like, while Monica was alive her character was alive on the show, we had Tracy and Jason kind of, like, handling things, but with her passing, I just thought, "Oh, wow, like, history in the making, somebody else in the family will take on the house, what meaning could this
Mhm.
be?" And we were watching how significant the Tracy-Monica relationship was, having those 2 long-standing characters on the show and being able to show all those clips and show their journey. And it's so fascinating, right? Like you have Tracy's journey and her love life. You have Monica, you have Alan, you have all of it. And you have Tracy who lost pretty much her whole entire immediate family. But it was so
Yes.
beautiful to be like, well, these 2 women, last one standing, and for the story to kind of actually be about them too. There was just something
Mhm.
so beautiful about that. There was something so beautiful about the way that Tracy was able to mom Jason. Like, who could mom Jason?
Right?
So for me, I guess I was looking forward to simply the story of the Quartermains, this next phase with Jason being heavily involved. And I know that like we were wondering who, and it turns out we didn't have to wonder. The whole family kind of assumed it would have been Michael. I kind of hoped it would have been Tracy, but I understand, I guess, her logic and why she was so, "No, Michael's gonna have this," because the whole point is that it was my Monica's house, and he was sort
Yes.
of, she said, like, her blood grandchild between, like, her and Alan. I was like, "Oh, okay." I get that, like, I get the whole, like, family line, but for me, I'm like,
Yes.
"Why skip Jason and all of this?" Like, I
Honestly.
but that was the logic, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's the rationale as to, like, why Michael's so important." Yes, they had a good relationship on all that, but I'm like, he's young, right? I didn't see
Yes.
why Jason was skippable in this, and I also didn't see why Tracy was skippable
Same.
in inheriting the house. Anyways, I just thought it was really heartbreaking. I already watched when Edward passed and he gave her pickles, and honestly,
Yes.
to this day, I've never fully understood it, and I don't even know if in the storyline they even explained it. She just started to make rationales that, "Oh, he believed in me," and I'm like, "No, it's a pretty awful thing to do."
Yes.
And then to watch it twice, like, we spent when Monica passed, we spent so much time watching Tracy grieve and watching
Yes.
everyone be on the same page and acknowledge how hard this was for her. So to turn it around and, like, offer her the pickles, like, I don't know. Like, again, Tracy said, "We talked every day. We got close over the past few years." And Tracy could not make sense of why she would do that. And, Lulu had something decent to say today that maybe you're not so mad at Ronnie, but mad at Monica. And I do find it really hurtful. So for me, I didn't find that fun. And then when Alexis said that line about like sister of my heart, and then it was
Mhm.
Ronnie after already
Ugh.
giving her like a necklace. So Ronnie gets the necklace and the house, and Tracy just got pickles. And,
Yeah, it's messed up.
now I'm getting mad because I'm thinking about what you said, like taking care of the family. Like, what do you think Tracy's been doing all this time? Tracy had been
Yeah.
taking care of you. She had been taking care of your family. And if you wanted to include Ronnie in your family, like having her at the reading of the will for her to get to know everyone and leave a letter or just be like, I want you moved in, or there's a room in the house that I want you to spend this amount of time here, right? Like there was so many other ways. So story-wise, yeah, she served a purpose when she read the warrant, but beyond that, I felt like was this necessary? And again, I'd have to wait and see. But then the flip side, I think it's got to be really fun as the actors, right? Because she's a vet in her own right as
Yes.
from One Life to Live, and I think as the actors themselves, I think it's so fun playing with different people. So, I mean, I feel 2 ways about it because it looks like it's fun for them, but
Absolutely.
story-wise around Monica, I just don't know that it was necessary to do it that way, and I'm hoping at some point, like, it'll make sense
I
because
really freaking hope so.
you've got so many people coming back from the dead. You have so many storylines that haven't even exploded yet, right? So again, speaking of like all the storylines and the warrant, like the whole Who Shot Drew is still active. Mm.
Yes.
So and, like, honestly, I loved when Michael answered the door and was like, "Chase, you live here. Use your key." I loved that moment. But also, Chase, like, you live here. Like, I don't understand what everyone's trying to do. Chase is like, "I could do my job, so I don't mind arresting someone I live with and showing up to the house to
Ugh.
like with a warrant to ransack it, you know?" Just like Lulu, like Sunny tells her, like, "You don't think about who you hurt." And she's like, "I'm just doing my job." Like, does anyone ever consider recusing themselves? Like, no one said you had to write about your cousin being a prime suspect in Drew's murder. Like, what bugs me about Lulu is that you had Carly kick Liesel out. This woman who at the time was grieving her own daughter had kicked her out for you to protect your child. And then you're going to go do this and paint a whole bullseye publicly on Carly's son? Seriously?
So wildly messed up.
Like, I need a scene where Carly kinda talks to Lou. I was kinda surprised that Sonny did it, but I'm glad he did it, except he was dead wrong when he said, "You've always been fair and unbiased." I'm like, "Who are you talking about?"
I know. What world do you live in now?
But I kinda like that she got called out that way, and it's kind of interesting how they're placing her, and I feel like it's kinda working. They have her a little bit everywhere, like, in the past few weeks, it's been, like, sort of mentioned, like, Lulu and her articles. I think Alexis had mentioned her, and I think it's
Mhm.
interesting having, like, Sunny be upset and people talking about the articles she put out, and then even Tracy, sh kind of confronting her and saying, "This is all you dug up? You found Geo when no one else knew what to look for. Aren't you good at digging up people's secrets?" Like,
Love it.
it's fascinating because she like, in those moments, we have, like, Lulu kind of they're finding a way for her to exist outside of, like, just the storylines of, like, Dante and Rocco and all that. It's interesting to watch them kind of reposition her as sort of
Mhm.
like, a productive member of society, basically, like having a role within, like, the community.
True.
So they're making space for her there. But yeah, so they basically gave warning, and Anna was so freaked out. They're like, Jason and Michael was there, and now everybody knows the gun. They know how to get rid of it. And I just thought it was ridiculous, like the fact that Chase is there and they're having a conversation like, no, no, like I'm really glad that like you came back with us. Like I wouldn't want to put you in that position. I'm like, he shouldn't have been on the investigation. Would most of the suspects
1000%.
were his
Mhm.
mates. Like, what is going on? And so she doesn't want him to interfere too much at home, but then goes to Dante, huh? You might be positioned real well to go after your brother. And I'm like,
I
what is
can't.
what is happening right now? And then he's like, for the record, I don't believe my brother did it, and even though I don't need to say it, I don't buy his alibi. Why? Why are you telling this to Anna? But he did share some helpful information by saying that Michael suspected that Willow had access to the property and suspected that she was the one responsible for terrorizing Daisy.
I'm happy that came out finally.
But also, what a fail on Dante's part. Back when Michael told him, Dante said, I will check the cameras, like
Mhm.
close to the Quartermains, just to see if she was in the area around that time to just take a look at your theory.
Mhm.
He obviously didn't do it.
He
He
did
should
not.
have. He did not. So hopefully he'll kind of handle that. So look, all of this is in motion. Michael was there when they showed up the first time. While all of this is happening, he also gets a phone call, so does Willow, about the whole custody thing getting pushed to January. He leaves the house.
Mhm.
He goes to see Elizabeth, and he was looking a little
Sus.
suspicious. Yeah. Yeah. And then I realized, like, that's weird because at the end of the day, isn't Elizabeth gonna say, like, yeah, Carly was there and then Michael was there at the house?
Here's the thing though, they found the gun upstairs. Yes, she
Yeah.
can tell them who visited. But as far as I could tell, Carly stayed in the downstairs while
Yes.
Elizabeth dealt with the plumber, and Michael respectfully waited downstairs. They were both eyeing up everything, but the gun was found upstairs.
And it's true because when Carly was sitting on the couch, Elizabeth was coming from the upstairs area.
Yes.
So this is really, really, really bad. Also, what did you think about Carly's visit with Elizabeth? I wasn't thrilled.
I wasn't impressed because again, we keep questioning like, who is Carly? Carly from today or Carly from the past? And
I
and what does that bring to the table?
No, but I felt that way about Elizabeth. You know how you say that, like, they're pulling on old dynamics, right? Like, they're bringing
Yes.
Ronnie in as a surrogate Monica to Tracy, and I'm just like, "But I liked evolving Tracy. Like, why are we doing this?" Because,
Yes.
like, that's what I find annoyed. It's like, "Here, let's restart this." And I'm like, "But why did you think we needed that?" Like, Tracy's drama enough. Like, I'm just saying. Like, Tracy's antagonistic to her family even when there's, like, no drama, and, like, I feel like it goes against where you said that her relationship with Monica landed. Like, I felt like that was quite an arc and a real relationship between the 2 of them, and I don't know why we need to reignite that, and I feel that way sometimes too about certain dynamics. Kinda like with Nina, right? Everything was settled for a long time, and then out of nowhere,
Mhm.
there was this massive fight, like, "Hey, let's reignite this, like, old dynamic. We need it right now." It's like, "What?" Like, it didn't make any sense.
Yes.
Then even with, like, Carly and Britt, like, let's reignite Carly's, like, really bizarre obsession about anybody being in Jason's life. Let's amplify that. And even with Carly and Elizabeth, I'm like, "Why are we doing this?" Like, I thought these
True.
women went so far, and then you have Elizabeth being like, "Well, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to tell the cops whatever I'm gonna tell them." I'm like, "Literally, Elizabeth, Carly told you that she admitted what she did, and she's just saying, 'Hey, what did you say?' Just so I know." She's not telling you not to say anything. She just wanted to
Mhm.
know what your interaction with the police was like. She already told them that she threatened to take his life and that you were there. Like, I just didn't understand the whole back and forth. Like, why can't you get on the mom train? Like, look what Alexis did. Hey, let me just give you a heads up because we all protect our children. And it's like Elizabeth is forgetting. She would do anything for her kids. Like, part of why she did what she did with Esme was because of how she messed with Cameron.
That's so true. It was a weird push-pull because at the end of it all, she said, "I'm also gonna tell him that Drew antagonized you." So, like, she was still kind of, like, testing her
Yeah.
limits around the story, which was annoying.
I mean, unless it's about her view of Willow because, like, she spends more time with her, and I will say this, I do agree with Elizabeth on this, that she had been arguing that if you give a little bit to Willow, like, if Michael can give a little,
Mhm.
that it would help detach from Drew. Elizabeth is absolutely right about that, but the timing mattered, and
Yes.
to be honest, I don't know that that timing was there before.
Fair.
I don't know. That's just what I think. And even now, like I felt like Willow played it well. Like when Michael came in, I felt like she played it well by focusing on Monica and not jumping to the kids right away. Like I
Yes,
like
me
that.
too.
That was interesting. But at the same time too, I'm like, I know this is hard for her, but you've been begging to see your kids, saying you'll do anything. And I know it's hard just 1 hour supervised visits. I was actually a little surprised too. I thought that Michael would have like, I don't know, had her at the house, but I guess
Yes.
with someone, like more informal. But I do agree having a witness would be a really good idea. And when he was talking to Ronnie, I'm like, well, he's not wrong. Like she's not necessarily like well. You know what I mean? She
Yes.
hasn't necessarily processed things. She's just sort of put one foot in front of the other. And when you're watching Willow privately, I mean, a lot of what she's doing is basically any move and how it looks to a judge. It doesn't necessarily mean like growth, but I felt, why are you having an open conversation with Michael about power? Like, you know what I mean? Like, power
Mm,
is kind of regulating yourself. It's being careful with your choices. It's careful how you present yourself. And the thing is, you do have power, and that power comes to you one choice at a time. It's not whining that you're helpless or that you don't like your choices. It's dealing with the choices you have in front of you until you have better ones. And making a choice to see your kids would put you in a position to have more choices. And that kind of bothered me. I didn't like throwing that on Michael. You're right. In this moment, you don't have the upper hand because you literally gave it to Drew.
yes.
So that is on you, but she's stuck on what Michael has and what she doesn't. And I don't know what her little weird comment was to Elizabeth, like kind of like, I'll show him or I'll like, I would do anything for my kids. And I don't know
Mhm.
if that was just in the back of her mind, the fact that she knew that like Drew would do whatever to frame Michael. Because I don't know if she believes that Michael did it. I don't know if she knows that Drew is framing him. Like, what do you think Willow knows?
I think Willow shot him and she wants somebody else to take the blame.
Okay, so yeah, it was. I really hope it is her because I think it would be kind
Me
of
too.
exciting.
I think it would be a great turn because we've been waiting for her to go full Nell. Like she didn't kidnap him and bring him to Mr. Dr. Gannon's cabin in the woods. Oh, he's like another Curtis. But anyways, so she hasn't done anything like full on. Yeah, there was the Daisy moment. So we
Yeah.
got like a little, but I'm like waiting for that big wild moment where she's going to need redemption. But at the same time, people are like, yes, celebrating the fact that she shot Drew. So it's like the perfect crime of crazy.
Honestly, when you put it like that, yeah, like it does kind of come together for like the Willow story of this whole thing of going off the rails with Drew. I guess I didn't see it that way. I was so caught up in the who done it and they had been putting this spotlight on Michael and I guess I was following what they were showing was like, "Oh my gosh, is he actually framing her?" And someone had commented this and I'm like, "So true." Like if Willow was okay with Michael being framed, I don't like have a problem with Michael framing her because I guess I forgot the conversation they had, but I feel like it was relatively explicit that part of Drew's plan was I'll get you your kids back by putting him in jail. Just
Yes.
regardless, like that's my goal. So this is insane. This is insane. Like Elizabeth is freaking out. She's calling Rick. And it was kind of like she didn't remember in that moment that this wasn't really about her. It was about Willow.
Exactly.
And that washing over her, in addition to like the hot goss she got from Portia.
That was so funny. Her eyes went so wide.
Oh my gosh. Like, literally, the moment Portia was dizzy, I was just loving it. Like, that's the thing. I went from being like, Portia, what's your point? Like, why are you here?
Same.
To like, I love Portia because I feel like she calls Curtis out. Like when he's with her, she's just like, "No, I'm not falling for this." Like, yeah, like I did things, but so did you. And I love that because I really feel like she sees Curtis how I see it. And even though it's like
Yes.
she cheated and she's super on brand by getting pregnant by her lover,
Of course.
part of me is like, and so what? She gets to do that. Like, part of me is like, I don't really care what Portia does. I feel like it's all good and fine for me, given what she went through. Because while she has lied about things, I do feel like the way that Curtis treated her was horrible. Like, leading her to believe that everything was on her. Not every single thing was on her. He was never fully committed to her. And even funnier was Gannon inserting himself into that drama. Like when he went to go talk to Curtis and confront him, I literally shouted at the TV, "No, bad lover. You just don't go talk to the
Stop.
husband. Are you joking? You're sleeping with his wife on the low and you're just gonna go up and just start like defending and speaking on behalf of Portia. And then even funnier to me was when he went to go talk to Portia, he realized that he did do a bad thing And I just couldn't help it. I'm like, bad lover, bad lover.
Mistress 101.
It's like he should talk to Drew. He doesn't know how to mistress. He doesn't
No, not at
know. He's
all.
new at this. And then I loved how it ended off because the visuals of his scenes with Portia as he goes in, he's like all amped up. Like, I want to defend you. Like, I don't like how Curtis treats you. I care about you. And then he's like, oh, no, I crossed the line. That was for you guys to deal with. He's like, I'm new at being a lover. And you could tell he was like, I'm bad. I'm bad. And then at the end, there's something about like he was going to go get back to work. And she smiled and then he smiled like, "I'm a good boy. I'm a good lover." And I'm like, I have
100%
and I'm like, these scenes are so
epic.
funny. But, like, I do feel bad that, like, Portia's kinda stuck because her options are, like, work things out with Curtis or, like, or,
Ooh,
like, fight over this baby. But I love how that they did this twice. It's like, "I'm pregnant," and they just flash back to, like, some hot moments.
amazing, amazing. Best flashbacks of the week.
Yeah. No, it's like, that's bad though, like, I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't know, cause like, I mean, she's not gonna be like, "It's my lover's baby," but she could though. What if this
Mm.
time it's not her lover's baby, but she doesn't wanna fight over custody with Curtis because he's so weird, like, "We have an adult daughter, maybe we should stay married for her," and I'm like, "You literally see Trina independently, you never had to stay married to her mom to see your adult daughter." And so, like, with a baby, that's what he's gonna think, "I can't see the baby unless we're married." So what if she just pretends it's Isaiah's and it's Curtis's?
I would really, really love that. I mean, it's on brand.
And then she takes his kid away from him again!
Yes, girl.
See, that's unforgivable. So far, I feel like what she's done is alright. Like, she only lied so far, to his knowledge, she only lied about one child, okay? So she
Mhm.
lied about a bit of blackmail. Okay, fine. She did some other stuff too. But I feel like Curtis only has a leg to stand on once she lies about 2 children.
I like that math.
That's unforgivable. I still like her, but I can see from Curtis's point of view. Like, right now, I'm like, "You don't have enough to, like, be all, Portia." No, you don't. She didn't do enough bad stuff for you to sit there and be all, like, pointing your finger
Judgy
at Portia.
McJudge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. Why don't you sit back and wait till she rips another child from you? Then you can say something.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to wrap things up. Oh my word. Okay, I think we talked about all the things and covered all of this
All
stuff.
of the things.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any favorite lines?
Yes, it was, "Yuri, cancel the taser." That to me was really funny.
Mm.
Mine is also "Be a man," when Jason said that to,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Definitely the best lines. I mean, Tracy always says a bunch of funny stuff. I'm sure there was a bunch of funny lines with Rick and Alexis and Ava. That was a blast. That was
Yeah,
last
last
week. So
week,
we're
that
gonna
was so
like
good. That was so
that was
good.
so fun. Okay. What about your stars?
My stars. Well, to Joss, this
Heck yeah.
girl, double lying. Like when she was talking to her mom, being like, "I was in shock," and I'm like, "You were in shock." I'm like, "I'm in shock." Like legit. Like I didn't even know how to absorb those scenes because I'm like, "You little liar." Like this is crazy. This is crazy. Like you're telling a lie that's your lie. Also, I didn't even know how to absorb that scene, but I was feeling so many things. So definitely started Joss, started like Carly, who reappeared in the kitchen getting mad at Brennan, but then was clearly like backing off toward the end.
Mm,
I don't know about giving a
yes.
star to the people who live at the Quartermains that are trying to arrest people in the Quartermains.
Yeah. I like that.
I don't like that. And I like everybody reacting to Monica having a sister. That's pretty funny.
That was
And
so fun.
and I will say this, I don't know how I feel about the line being used for the first time when Ronnie said,
I know.
"It's my house, Monica gave it to me." I'm like,
I like it.
"Okay." Like, this you know what I mean? It's so iconic, like, I love that thing that General Hospital shared, and they put all the clips together of people saying, "It's Monica's house, Alan gave it
I
to her."
saw that.
So, yeah, that was
Yes.
just a lot, I think, that moment.
I'm gonna give a star specifically to Olivia because she is so dead set on getting her pizza oven. It doesn't matter who
My
has
gosh.
possession of the house. It made me laugh.
Committed, like, before
Mhm.
the Willow reading, she's like, "Michael, can I have this?" And then to Ronnie, like, immediately. Oh my gosh, stars to all the Quartermains. Those are some great Quartermain scenes. And Anna, honestly, she was kind of funny at the Quartermains.
She was really funny. She was very entertaining, and I definitely loved her grandma moment where she took time away from a murder to listen and to be sympathetic and to give her
Oh,
great
yeah.
advice.
And I'm gonna give, an A for effort for Isaiah trying to be a good lover.
You're so nice. Too nice.
And I'm giving a star to Portia. Like, I don't know. I just think she's so messy and it just never stops. Like, it never stops. Like, it really doesn't with this girl.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was your cutie pie moment of the week?
Man. Wait, before I do that, I have one more favorite line. I can't believe I didn't see it. It was
Okay.
actually Isaiah to Drew. You don't strike me as a fragile flower.
Love
I
it.
kinda really like that. Okay, cutie pie moment, I guess it has to go to Gio and Emma finally being like, "I like you."
Oh, yes,
What do you think?
that's the perfect one.
Okay. Okay.
So why don't you share with us your handle?
Oh, I was like, "I'm done. I'm done for today." It is at Cutie Pie Coloring on Instagram if you wanna check out what the pages look like, and we also even made some really cute stories, with some of the coloring pages, and it's also available on Amazon, and you can check out the Cutie Pie coloring book.
You can also go to our Instagram page, the Port Charles Update, and the link is also in our bio.
That seemed probably easier, and she probably should have said that.
Go team. That's a wrap, folks. Have a great weekend. Bye.
I